Hello everyone, welcome back to the Salesforce real-time scenarios. So in the previous video, we discussed about how we are going to add the products and how we are going to remove the products we have discussed in the previous video. Now in this video, we are going to discuss about what we are going to select at the products. Now that products we have to create it in the database. So means that is the sales orders information we have to save to the database. So how we are going to that is, let's see. So here we have to save the data to the database, right? Already we define the button is the handle save button. So here this is the save products now. So in this we have to take it by the on click. So here we have to take it by the handle save. So here we have to save it to the data purpose. We have taken by the one method. So handle save. So before we are going to save the data, actually our total data into the one of the list type, right? But this list type we have the product name, price, quantity is the properties, but we have to map it to the these values to the actual Salesforce objects API names. Actual Salesforce objects API names now. So how we are going to map it to the those information into the actual Salesforce object API names. Let's see how we are going to map it to that is. So let's come to the here. So let create sales orders equals to this is the one of the list type. So for loop, I have taken all our sales orders here, right? This is the list type sales order. So that's why here we have taken by the let I equals to 0. We have to loop repeated for the all the records. I greater than or equals to this dot sales orders dot length, and we have to the I plus plus. This is the for loop is repeating. So now let's take to the one of the variable where we prod equals to products details. That's why here I'm taking the prod. This dot sales orders. It is written by the list wise na I. So now here we have to take it by the one more variable. So new prod row. Here we have to take it to the information. So now here we have to map it by the actual field API name. So come to the here. So we have the product name now. So let's come to the setup object. So which object we are going to save the sales order line item object. So go to the sales order line item object API fields API names. So sales order line items. So in this fields, first we have to the product name. So product name API this is. So let's give to the product name. So where we have the product name, we prod dot actually it is the lookup field. So that's why here we have to pass it by the product ID. So actually here we have to mapping in a product name. Same in this we have to map it by the product ID also. Name we can't able to map it, right? Why? Because means so that is the lookup field. So this dot product data dot ID. We are not displayed this one, but we have to store it by the when the handle row each product we have the different IDs. Now that's why. So now come to the here. We have the product ID, comma. So we have the next API name is the quantity. So here we have to give it by the quantity. We product dot quantity and discount. So we product dot discount. Okay. So these are all the three fields we are mapping to the price automatically mapped. That is standard functionality. Let's save this up to. Now this one we have to add it by the our created sales record. So that's why here this dot create sales orders equals to, earlier we have the mapping now in the list. So same like three dots. So here this keyword no need to required. Why? Because means within the only, right? No need to required for the this keyword, comma. So new prod row. Let's save this. So like this, how many products we have, that products information we have the map it to the here. Now this data we have to pass it to the our Apex class. So I think already we have taken by the one Apex class earlier, same class we are using. So at the rate aura enabled. So insert sales orders. So here list type is the, we have to inserting to the sales order line items. So this is the API name. Sales order line items. So here SOLI list I'm taking the here. Now I have to insert the list, but before that we have the master relationship for the sales order and sales order line items. So if you come to the our record, our flow is the, so here customer so actually each customer, so is this customer information initially we have displayed, based on this customer we have to generated by the sales orders. Then sales orders, so we have the sales order line items. We have the sum of the sales order line items. This is the relationship, parent, child, and grandchild, right? So let's see how we are going to add it for the this customer. Mainly, we have the implemented, that is the our main scenario, right? When we are selecting to this customer, we have to generate it to the sales order, create order. Then only we have to displayed by these panels. So we have to pass it by the this customer ID dynamically. So how we are going to pass it? So this class, this component actually we have taken by the separator, right, earlier. Now we are going to call it this component into the main component. No need for the separate. When we click on to the create orders only, we have to display by the this component. So how we are going to that is, why? Because means we need to the customer ID. Then only we have to able to map it now. So that's why here. First up to we have save it by this class. Then come to the our main component. This is the our main component. So let's call to the child component here. So our child component name C. So sales order create. Camel case, right? O and C is the camel case. That's why here we are calling to this. So let's save and deploy. So now here I'm editing this page. We are removing this. Earlier, just we have every time we click on the create order purpose directly, we have taken this component. Now remove this one. When we click on the create order only, then it would be the appear. So two times is the populated now. So why? Because it is automatically populated. So let's remove this one. So let's save activation, back to the page. So initially we don't want to display, right? This is when we click on the submit. After click on to the create order only, we have to display by the this add products card. Okay. So how we are going to handle that is, so here handle order already we are taken. So come to the JS, in the handle order we have not taken by the any. So handle order. So let's take by the one boolean property here. So display products. just to take by the one this. So now here we have to take it this dot display products equals to true. Let's save. Now come to the here. So now come to the here. We have to take it to the separate this one of the break for the this, and here we have the template. So if true, so display products. So let's save and deploy. So come to the here, we have the refresh by the page. So this is the actual flow. Earlier we have to check it purpose. I am not added by the um, child component in the parent component. Now here not appear anything, right? So click on submit. Every time we click on to create order, this process I skipped it at the time. So click on create order, then only here appear. Okay. So then here also when we click on the add product only, we have to display with this panel also. It is appear initially, right? When we click on to the add product, then only we have to appear this one also. So how we are going to that is come to the create here in this HTML. So once we click on to the add row only, we have to display. So here display product list. So here when we click on to the add product only, we have to display. So that's why here this dot add product to list. So display product list, save. So let's come to the in the HTML. Initially, we don't want to display this lightning card, right? So here we have to take it by the template. If true, so this is the creative orders. Okay, in this. So let's take by the here. So save and to deploy this one. This one also I'm deploying. So now you have to observe total flow. So click on submit, click on create order. Initially not appear by the here columns here. When you are added by the product, then only the appear. See here, then only the appear by the this panel also. Like this step by step we have the implemented now. Then finally we have to save to the database, right? So actually we have the in the parent component we have the customer ID. So how we are going to pass it to the from the parent to child component to the customer ID. In the child component, I am taking by the @API customer ID. Why? Because means we have to pass the data from the parent to child. So that's why here we have to import by the API also. This is customer ID. Now let's come to the parent component. Here we are calling right child component. So here we have to give it by the ID camel case, right? So that's why here where we have the customer ID in the JS. So customer result, right? In this is the sales customer result. We have the customer information. In this, we have the customer ID. So sales customer dot result ID. That record ID pass it to the child component. So now we have received by the child component. This is. Let's deploy this and let's deploy this one as well. Now we have the customer ID as well. So come to the our Apex class now. So in this Apex class, we are passing to the customer ID also. So string yes customer ID. Now let's see here we have the customer ID. Then we have the before creating the line items, first we have to create by the sales order, parent object. So sales order is the parent object now. So here, this is the sales order. Now we got it by the customer ID. We have to map it by the customer ID here. So we have to create by the sales orders first. Then only we have to create by the child records, right? Come to the edit object. So sales orders. So S4 equals to new sales order. S4 dot, we have to the map it by the customer ID na. So that's why here customer lookup. So here customer name, that is the customer name. Sorry, equals to yes customer ID. Actually, this is we are getting from the parent component to child component, from the child component to our Apex class. Now S4 dot, we have to the one more field, we have to the order date. We have to take it by the order date. So order date is the today when we are going to creating that date, right? So here we have to give it by the system dot today. It is written by the current date. And one more, we have the any fields is the required. So order status, we have the order place. This is the we have to give it. So order status equals to order placed. So let's insert sales order first. Sales order child object is the sales order line items now. So we have to map it by the this inserted record ID for the all the records. So let's take the for loop sales order line items SOLI SOLI list. So in the sales order line items, we have the pick by the API name of the parent object. So this is the sales order number. This is the order number. So SOLI dot order number equals to SO dot ID. So save. So here inserting that record ID. So how many products we have select that product information, we have the sales order line items list of the records. So here we have to map it by all the sales order line items to the parent record to the sales order. Finally, we have to insert by the SOLI list. Okay, so now we have the inserted by the list of the this records. So initially we have to insert it by the parent record sales order parent record. Then after we have to insert it by the sales order line items. Okay, so now we have to deploy this. This method we need to call it by the into the our JS. So here return statement we have the missed. So at present we have to give it by the return null. So save and deploy. So successfully deployed this. So now here we have to the call it to the this method, right? So in the JS so import. So our method name is the here insert sales orders from same rate. Here we have to take it by the same class fetch customer details. Now we have okay customer data in this only. Okay, let's take to the here insert orders. and the class name is the fetch customer details. Might be, I think earlier we have taken by the separate class, and I think so we have to add by the product data also for the same class. Okay, let's leave it. It's not an issue. So let's come to the here. Now here, this is the insert records, right? Once we click onto the save button, so we have to pass it to the information. So here after this, insert. So we have the two parameters. So S4 list ID first, SOLI list. So we have to pass it by the create sales orders. This is comma, and we have to pass it by the customer ID as well. So yes, customer ID. So here already we have the map unna this dot customer ID API name already we have taken. So we have to map it by this. So dot then result catch error. So save. So it is written by the null value, but it will be the successfully result inserting. Let's see. Let's deploy. Now come to the here at present. Come to the this record. We have the at present is the 7 and 8. Now we are going to inserting now that will be the created by the ninth sales order record. Let's see. So come to the our page, refresh by the page. Click on submit. So we have populated by the customer details. Once we click on the create order, here displayed by the panel for the products selection, Lenovo 2 we have selecting. This is the appear to the here. If you are selecting by the HP 2 to add product. Now when I click on to the save button, this record will be the saved to the database. So click on save. So let's see initial it is saved or not. So come to the here. At present we have the two only, right? We have the refresh by the page. So in the related list, so view all, it's not inserted. We can see what is the cause of the issue, why it is not created. Sales order, so customer ID we are mapping, sales order number also we are mapping, SO list ID we have the inserted. So what is the issue? So we can check it. We can take it by the one system debug here. So or it's coming by the error log. We can see the here. So deploy. We have to open by the developer console. So come to the here, we have to click onto the again save button. So save logs not generated. I think logs not generated nothing but the Apex class is the not invoked, right? So here we have the insert by the sales order. So insert by the sales order, fetch, insert the sales orders here. We have to pass it by the string, these two customer ID. So we have passed by the handle save. So when the inserting, so we have to the create orders, comma, yes, customer ID. So I think we have missed by the here this keyword. So that is the problem. Okay. This keyword is we are missing now. So this is the top level, right? In the API, we have defined the here. That's why we have the face an issue. So let's refresh by the page. Click on submit. Click on create order. MacBook. Add products. Lenovo. Add products. Click on save. Now logs will be the generated. Let's come to the here. We have the two. We have the refresh by the record. So now created by the ninth one. So we have the given by the details. So we have the customer ID, we are mapped, and order date is the today, and we have the placed by the order placed. And come to the here in this related list for the sales order, we are given by the two records, right? MacBook and Lenovo. So here we have to check it. MacBook and Lenovo. These two records will be the mapped by the here. So like this, we have to save the data to the database. We have the interlinked. Customer details is the grandparent object, sales order is the parent object, sales order line item is the child objects. So we have to map it to the one by one, right? So this is the parent customer ID. Customer ID we are mapping it to the sales order. Once sales order is inserted, that is the sales order line items. We have the mapping to the here. Okay. So how I hope how we are implemented by the this scenario, how we are created to the records to the database. I hope it's clear. So stay tuned for the next video. So in the next video, we have to display to the some success message after creation, right? We have to display by the some success message, and as well as to the we have to hide by the this panel add products, and this total panel we have to hide it. And one more thing also we have to the save products button, at least one we have the added, then only we have to enable to this save products button also. So this is we have to discuss into the next video. Stay tuned. Thank you.